With the release of Superman, we now have 9 Superman films, so today I thought it was time for me to stop and rank all 9 Superman movies. Please know that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. My name is SDubNation, and you are free to comment down below your very own ranking of all 9 Superman films, ranked from the worst to the best, just like me, or you could just do your favorite. So going into this ranking, please note that I am only ranking the theatrical release movies as well as the Zack Snyder's Justice League cut. I'm not adding in the original Justice League cut because I'm not counting that as the actual Justice League anymore. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter and that TikTok link. Those links are in the description, as well as the other Superman review. That link is also in the description as well, and countless other DC videos in that playlist. And without further ado, let's get right into our ranking. Kicking things off at number 9, we have Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Obviously, this was at the bottom. A painfully short Superman film. It's really short. It's like an hour and 25, hour and 30. It's a film that's rough to get through. Noticeably, it's cheaper, it's goofier, and a shell of what was the franchise. Reeves tries his best and truly wanted to tell a message about the environment and nuclear power. And I love the fact that he wanted to actually tell a message, you know, using his character Superman. I love the fact that he wanted to do that. But it sucks because the film is just so shitty. At number 8, we have Superman 3, a complete turnaround from the first 2 films, another painful watch. I remember, you know, when I first was interested in watching the movie, I remember watching it because Richard Pryor was in it, and I was like, okay, let's see how Richard Pryor is. He's a little bit hilarious outside of this, so let's see how he is in, you know, the Superman franchise. And I liked Clark returning to Smallville, meeting up with Lana again, and even the evil Superman. I thought that was a choice, but it wasn't that bad. But they didn't want to do Lex Luthor again, so who did they get? This guy. Another Lex Luthor. And also, Richard Pryor. He's giving us some of his worst stand-up of all time. He's giving us some of the worst jokes, the worst slapstick. He is one of the most insufferable characters in the entire Superman franchise. Overall, it's a movie about technology controlling Superman, starring Richard Pryor, featuring Christopher Reeves as Superman. Number 7, Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. The Ultimate Edition adds a little bit more context to Clark Kent's reporting skills. I think that's pretty interesting. It's an ambitious movie, but very flawed, like many people say. I'm not going to spend that much time on this one because I've always felt like Snyder was a better fit for a Batman movie director than a Superman movie. This film asks the compelling question: should Superman exist? And while it answers that question, this movie works better as a Batman film than a Superman film, even though Henry Cavill is great as always. Number 6, Superman Returns, a Superman film where he never throws a single punch. How fun is that? Not really that fun, but this is truly an ambitious movie. I love the idea that he's been gone for 5 years looking for Krypton. It's a direct sequel to Superman 2, the Donner Edition, and I love the ideas introduced with him having a son. I think all of that could have been greatly explored if it got the reception that they wanted. I'm intrigued by how stylistic and low-key dated this movie is by it being a direct sequel to the second film, but it's very forgettable. I think Brandon Routh, I loved him in the Arrowverse as the Atom and when he came back to play Superman, but I think his Superman in this film just fits with Christopher Reeves a lot, and he has the stature physically, he looks the part, he almost resembles him in an uncanny way. So I like Brandon Routh's portrayal of Superman here. Lex Luthor, he's more menacing, but his plans are real estate again, so it's not very interesting. And James Marsden is in this film as well, but he always finds himself in the middle of a love triangle. There are some impressive action scenes like that airplane scene, and I think Bryan Singer found a great way to bring back the sense of the heroic in this film after the terrible Superman 3 and 4. But again, the film is just so forgettable and sometimes boring. Our top 5 list, Superman 2. So when I wrote this, I said I don't know if I've actually seen the Donner cut. I went back to my earlier notes in my earlier video, I think from 4 years ago when I ranked these movies. I saw the Donner cut then, but I think the one on HBO Max is not the Donner cut. So this year, I didn't see the Donner cut. I actually saw the original, and I actually liked it pretty fine. I still ranked at the same place that I had, the Donner cut. I think I love the idea that this one directly picks up where we first left off. Tonally, it feels like that first film rather than 3 and 4. Scope-wise, it's just as big as that first film rather than 3 and 4, but it also invents the genre of choice versus responsibility, just like the first film invented the origin story genre, giving us a personal dilemma for Clark where he has to choose between what he wants versus what he was sent to Earth to do. His choice versus his responsibility. And I didn't grow up watching this film. I know a lot of people did. So, of course, you get all of the, the quips, all of the iconic lines are inside of this film. Zod and his goons may work better for other people versus them working for me. The effects may work better for people than it worked for me. I love the fact that it's a little bit darker and it has a lot more action here. It's a lot more triumphant in the end. So, you know what? I think overall, Superman 2, whether you're talking about the theatrical or the Donner cut, it's still a great Superman film. Number 4, Zack Snyder's Justice League. As a Superman appearance, he's barely in it. But as a Superman film, he is the reason many of the League are inspired. Flash really looked up to him. Batman's faith in people is reignited, and Wonder Woman has hope in a new age of heroes. Because of Superman, the League unites, and when he joins the fight, he gets his moment as well. I love this film, and as a Superman movie, his resurrection in this film is really an incredible one, making this entire trilogy full circle from Man of Steel, BVS, to Zack Snyder's Justice League. Number 3, Superman 78, the original superhero film. It's kind of the one that invented the superhero genre as well as the origin story genre. You watch 1, 2, and 3 of Superman, it's very similar to 1, 2, and 3 of Spider-Man because, yeah, it is the one franchise that created the superhero genre. I think the first hour is just drastically better here. It has that Batman Begins like storytelling where it is a story of becoming, like I said before, an origin story through and through. The scope is huge from a story by Mario Puzo, the writer of The Godfather, giving us some grandiose and gravitas things. Reeves brings some old school charm to the role, but also he's just iconic in the suit. But also from that 30s inspired style play opening, the film feels like an event. This film shows that the Man of Steel is iconic for a reason. This film is just such a joy to watch. Our runner-up at number 2, Superman, the newest addition to the franchise. I walked out wanting to be a better person than I was before. Gunn reignites the character to stand for hope. The gun does not jam, and what makes this Superman great is not his strength, it's his kindness and character. This film tells a story about Clark finding his humanity, and it's that story that inspires me. David brings so much to the role here, and to me, it's special. It's special to me, it's special to him, it's special to all of us who have seen the film. I also think that Mr. Terrific is such a standout character. Additionally, we have Crypto in the mix, which I thought was kind of stupid. I didn't think that he could work. He's absolutely one of those scene stealers too. I love Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, and she and David just has some of the best chemistry on screen as Lois and Clark. And I love the fact that, her arc in this movie is about her finding out more about Clark herself and finding herself falling in love with him throughout the course of the film because of his character. And it is a movie where Superman is inspiring people around the world, whether that's the Justice Game, whether that's, Metropolis. This is the movie DC needed to rehabilitate their brand. This is the movie Superman needed to reignite his character. This is the movie that we need as a world. But coming in at my number 1 has got to go to Man of Steel. This is my Superman. It's the Superman that I grew up with. I mean, watching him from this film to BVS to Justice League. Snyder's reimagining is still the best to me. Taking the Man of Steel to new heights. Making him relatable and having him deal with the question of where do we fit in the world? It's an age-old question that we all struggle with, and many of us won't ever find that answer until we're in our 40s. As a standalone film, it doesn't have to set up a cinematic universe, so it gets to just tell this great story. Zack had a vision and truly brought something new to the character that I never thought that I wanted. Michael Shannon is just doing the greatest job ever by portraying this guy who believes that he is doing the right thing for the sake of his people. And I love that he's just not some mustache twirling villain, that he actually has a part to play, that he actually believes that he is the hero in his own story. Also, you got to talk about Amy Adams' Lois Lane. I didn't think that she was the best choice for the role after seeing Rachel Brosnahan, of course. And finally, Hans Zimmer gives us this energizing score that is, in my opinion, and Superman is coming very close. I may change my mind by next week, but this is my favorite comic book movie score of all time. And also, because Zack Snyder is a visionary director, he also incorporates some very kinetic action into the mix. And while it is a darker take, I love the idea that it's about what if Superman just showed up in a post 9/11 world. The cynicism, the questions that we would have. And I think that works because it takes this realistic approach to the Man of Steel. This is why Man of Steel has to come in at number 1. Alright guys, that is it for the ranking. Please know that everything that I did say in this video was just my own opinion. My list was certainly not the right list, it was just my list, and you are free to comment down below your very own ranking of all 9 Superman films, ranked from the worst to the best, just like me, or you could just do your favorite. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter and that TikTok link. Those links are in the description. And with all that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Peace.